Also this morning, the men accused of holding 3 women hostage for a decade could be formally charged today. Police say one of the men pretended to search for a victim and even attended a candlelight vigil.
Well, the amazing story from Cleveland of those 3 women found after disappearing for more than 10 years may give some hope to thousands of families around the country who are still searching for lost loved ones.
Yeah, this morning we're joined with Ray Giudice, who's an expert on missing person cases. You may recognize him as a regular contributor on Court TV and the Nancy Grace Show. Ray, good to have you here this morning.
Good morning.
Listen, everyone talking about this story. I was even at the gym yesterday. We were all standing around the TV. A lot of this right now is speculation because we haven't had a chance to hear from the women who were held captive. But we were all sitting there saying, gosh, over a period of 10 years, these are adult women. They never once had a chance to escape. And then you think about, were they brainwashed?
Well, what you're looking at is 3 young women when they were initially taken, but who are now in their late teens and early 20s. And you're saying, couldn't the 3 of them collectively even overpower one of these middle-aged guys who's by themselves? There's 2 different theories. There's the battered women's theory, where you're so beaten and so abused that for your survival, you accommodate your captor, and the famous Stockholm syndrome, where a symbiotic relationship develops between the captor and the captive. The FBI has specially trained investigators who are going to slowly, delicately work through this with these 3 women, and there's 2 children as well.
And Ray, this does, you know, this is so frightening for parents to think that this could happen to their child, because we have cases, of course, across Georgia, across the country. What do you tell parents? Should they start talking to their children about this? What if this happens to them?
You know, I grew up in a place called Yonkers, which is sort of the North Bronx back in the 60s and 70s, and as a sort of a street kid, you develop that sixth sense. Why is that person there? Who's following me? I think in suburban America, kids don't have that. So parents have to teach it. The other thing is the use of all the electronic devices we have, whether it's the tracking on the cell phone, the at-home monitors where you can watch your kids in the living room. We have a culture of latchkey children who get up, take themselves to school, come home. They've got to be on guard all the time.
All right, we have a local story here, about 30 seconds left. Jamal Keys, his family's out there looking for him right now. What advice do you give to a family whose son's been missing for 2 weeks?
Well, I like what they're doing. They've got a reward. They're putting up flyers. They're keeping the story in the news so that there's as many eyeballs and ears out there as possible. Somewhat of a different story. This is a 19-year-old young man. Different from a 19-year-old young man from these 3 young ladies who were in their early teens when taken. Interesting story, but they've got to keep the story alive so somebody can notice something and report it to authorities.
Yeah, make your voice heard for sure as parents. Ray Giudice, thank you. We appreciate you coming in this morning.